Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Talk and Travel with Terry and Darcy, your hosts from opposite coasts. As always, my name is Darcy McKillop, coming to you live from the East Coast in Douglas, New Brunswick. And with me, joining me as every week, is Terry Hawkins from the West Coast in Kelowna, BC. How are you tonight, Terry?
I'm doing great, Darcy. How's everything out in New Brunswick this week?
Well, we can't complain. Things are moving along. Doesn't look like our flooding season is going to be too bad this year, so we'll be good.
That's great to hear. It's kind of a short news week this week, Darcy.
It is. There wasn't, and I guess there's a lot of news, but no, we don't want to report on all the news. We only want to report on the good news. So with that, let's jump into our cruise news. So Terry, take it away.
Excellent. Thanks, Darcy. Expedition cruising is returning to the Arctic regions, starting as early as this week. Lindblad, Oceanwide, Poseidon, Hapag-Lloyd, and Albatross will all be operating out of Scandinavia and Iceland this year for their Arctic tours, while Cork and Hurtigruten are both operating out of Scandinavia, Iceland, and my old stomping grounds in the Canadian Arctic. So that's great to see.
Yeah, great news. Those would be some pretty interesting cruises still. In other cruise news, again, a light cruising week this week. Norwegian Cruise Lines has resumed sailing with the Pride of America in the Hawaiian itinerary. So this makes them the only of the major cruise lines that will have a ship that operates Hawaiian cruises year-round. So you can book a Hawaiian cruise with Norwegian on Pride of America.
Moving on over to Disney news here. The Cultural Exchange Program is returning to Disney World. So it's short news, but very important. Walt Disney World will have the cast members coming from all over the world to man the Epcot pavilions and elsewhere in Walt Disney World. And it is a true favorite for guests to go and be able to interact with people that are from those countries.
Yeah, that's great news. I wonder if they'd hire old guys like us to do that, Terry. Moving on to other news for the week. Keeping it in Canada, Via Rail is moving towards resumption of its full schedule. As of this month, April, the Quebec City to Windsor corridor will be operating at 85% of its pre-pandemic levels. As they move into May, the Canadian, which is the train that runs between Toronto and Vancouver, will resume full service. And in June, we'll see the full schedule return for the Quebec Windsor corridor. The Ocean, which is the Halifax to Montreal, Toronto run, and then other regional routes going back to full service as well. So good news for train travel within Canada, and some of those trains make for a really interesting trip for vacationers as well.
Yeah, always great to have more options, and that is quite a way to see the country for sure.
Definitely.
And also in other news, Honolulu has changed its short-term rental policy, changing it from 30-day minimum to 3-month minimum. So this is going to affect some of the snowbirders for sure. The City Council passed this bill hoping that it will help with the shortage of longer-term rentals, which is something that really does plague Honolulu.
And also in the U.S., the CDC has extended its mask mandate for planes and trains until May 3rd. So if you're flying in the U.S. on a U.S. carrier, just like Canada, you'll still have to wear a mask. And finally, with some flight news this week, Air Transat will resume flights from Toronto to Dublin, Ireland. Looking to have up to 5 flights a week in the near future. And this follows some earlier news that they announced that they've resumed some flights into many of the regions of France. So again, some great vacation opportunities for people wanting to get into Ireland and France if you're looking to fly with Air Transat.
Darcy, you got some air news in this week.
Yeah, I had to find something.
There we go. Excellent.
So that's our brief look at this week's news highlights. And as always, if you like what we're doing, if you enjoyed the clips, so just click on the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to get those notifications of when we post, and coming soon, well, on a supplier video. I'm not going to tell you who, but it'll be out soon.
coming real soon here. We're just waiting for final approval from the supplier on that. Should be out this week. Fingers crossed. So until next week, I'm Terry, the travel guy, with Darcy McKillop from Travel Agent Next Door. Wishing you all a great week. Take care.
Good one, all.
Thank you.